Hey guys, Clay Edwards here. I want to tell you real quick about RC Lawn Care. My buddy Richard Coley is going to be the guy you need to contact for all of your lawn maintenance needs. You can reach him at 601-502-3529. They offer roof to curb service, blowing off the roof, gutter cleaning, basic lawn care including mow, trim, edge, and blow, full lawn cleanup, trash removal, garden supplies delivered, pine straw installs, driveway and sidewalk pressure washing. If grass is growing, you need RC Lawn Care Mowing. Again, 601-502-3529. Richard Coley at RC Lawn Care, proud sponsor of the Clay Edwards Show podcast.
All right, you tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards. You can follow in on everything that we do here throughout the show on social media. If you want to chime in on anything, just go search at SaveJXN across all platforms, Facebook, Twitter or X, Instagram, and others. Be sure to hit a follow, subscribe, whatever you do when you're there. TikTok, we're on there as well. Do very well over there too. So just at SaveJXN. You may say my name may pop up, but the at is Save Jackson, then JXN. All right, real quick, let's do a little bit of house cleaning here. You can reach the show on the Guns and Gear text line. If you want to text in, 769-241-1944. You can call in, 601-879-0002. We'd love to hear from you guys today. It's 9/11. It's another anniversary of the greatest attack on our soil in our lifetime. Unless you lived through Pearl Harbor. So I noticed that they won't even let Joe Biden speak at it. They sent him over to Vietnam or somewhere. They don't think they can afford another Joe Biden gaffe. Because they think it'll torpedo his 2024 chances. So the President of the United States, legitimate or not, will not even be speaking at the 9/11 tribute. So make of that what you will. MAGA 2024. Trump would have been there. I'd be surprised if Trump don't still go. Wasn't he there last year? We'll see. Man, I tell you, let's talk about 9/11 for a minute. Then we're going to get into a bunch of news. We got 2 hours of me in here solo today. Then I got to get to Mr. Doug Shank's funeral. Never actually looked forward to a funeral, but I just know there's going to be so many good stories told at this one. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they lay it all out and hearing some of the stories about Doug, and looking forward to hearing all the speakers and getting to visit with everybody. I guess that is a sign that you lived a good life, right? When people are looking forward to going to your funeral because they know the stories are going to be good. I mean that as a highest compliment possible, so I hope it's coming across like that. All right, let's talk about 9/11 for a minute. I do this every year. I'm not going to stop. I remember we had just opened up Crazy 8 out there in Byram. 1 month, we opened it up on August 10th, 2001, so 1 month to the day dang near later, September 11th happened. I just remember thinking, I was like, well, finally got my own bar. Of course, terrorism or something like that would, 10 states away would ruin it. I was like, well, as life goes, let's go join the military, I guess. I couldn't. I'd already tried previously. They wouldn't have me. Flat-footed. Well, I mean flat-footed, but deaf and blind. But anyway, I was laying in my bed, and I woke up, and actually my dad woke me up. I was staying at their house. Woke me up and said, hey, you can cut the TV on. I cut it on, and the plane had hit the first building, the first tower. And I guess, however, we were just trying to wrap our heads around what was happening, and then boom. And I forget the timeline exactly, but the second plane hit, And it's at this moment that if you had any doubts that we were under attack, they were no longer doubts. Yeah. When the second plane hit. And then, of course, the towers fell down. And I'm not going to do a play-by-play on all this, but America changed. We lost a lot of our freedoms that day with the Patriot Act that I think was ready to go within like a week or two. It's almost like it was planned. But anyway, I love seeing all the posts and the pictures that everybody posts on 9/11, the tributes, the stories, the red bandana guy, the let's roll. I still don't believe the let's roll stuff. I think that was all fabricated, but that's just my opinion. When they had to shoot that plane down and blame it on guys with, anyway, we've done this 100 times. I'm sure Mike Madison will have a great 9/11 show. He peels all that back really well. But it's 9/11. Say a prayer for folks. You never know when it could be your last. I saw a picture posted this morning of the abandoned cars in the giant stadium parking lot. It was like a commuter lot, so they parked there and then commute over to the towers. And there was a bunch of cars that never left the parking lot. Let's take a call. Hey, you on there?
What's going on this morning, Clay?
Oh, man, same thing, different day.
Different day. It's Monday. I've got a 4.5-hour drive ahead of me. Hey, I like to flip through the news channels. I don't know why, but I flip through all of them. Even the local news mentions 9/11. But Morning Joe, their lead story was that tennis player that Grand Slam, whatever she won. Then, of course, the second story, they go on to Trump and all them diapers. Never mentioned 9/11. I think they want people to forget, or either they didn't want to bring up what Joe Biden was doing.
I agree. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that Biden ain't there.
Yeah, I mean, even the local channels mentioned it. I'm saying, you got to be kidding me.
One of the things I'll remember about that day was, so I was running a bunch of errands and stuff, and all of our local radio stations have been commandeered with a national news feed, whether it was ABC or CBS or whatever. There wasn't no music on the radio, except 99 Jams.
Well, I remember that's when I used to listen to that stayed on talk show over there when it used to be decent.
Yeah.
And Gallo would come on and mention about an airplane, and they'd had that one in Florida. We was thinking something small. Well, then all of a sudden the second one, and then where our office was at the time was kind of in a flight zone, a lot of aircraft. All of a sudden it just, and everybody started hitting the TVs and everything. And it was just like, wow, and then everybody started freaking out on the gas and all this because nobody really knew what was going on. Well, I'll always remember where I was at because there was a lot of airplane military, but it was just like, doom, stopped. And it's kind of just an awakening moment.
It was.
It seems how people are trying to forget. It's what just blows my mind on it, Clay. It's just like, wow.
Yeah. I tell you, I've said it before on the show. I wish we could get America back to 9/12/01, the day after 9/11 there.
Right.
Because you couldn't turn a corner without seeing somebody. Race didn't matter. Politics didn't matter. Everybody was wearing the red, white, and blue. It was something that brought us in a very dark time. It was also something that brought us together. I know the recruiting stations were filled up, man. Young men and women going to dedicate their lives to fight for America. You always hear these stories, paralyzed veterans or dismembered veterans or whatnot, and they often say that it was 9/11 is why they went and joined the military. And here they are, in one of the hospitals or just in bad shape for the rest of their life because that moment changed so many other lives. Then if you want to get into the Afghan war and just all that, but that moment changed so many lives when those planes hit that building. And obviously the people in the buildings on the planes all perished. But think of all the people who joined the military because of that. And then they went out and their lives are forever changed.
Right. And then all the conspiracy stuff that we did that to ourselves to start a war. I mean, and I watched a lot of videos, both sides. It makes you wonder and think, but then, I was there watching it take place.
Well, I don't believe in coincidences, and there's an awful lot of coincidences.
Right, but it happened. It happened. And like you said, it opened everybody's eyes. Because I say it jokingly, we need another one. This country needs a good animal again.
I agree.
But I think it's too far gone now. I don't want it like it to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
But I think this country's gone.
Well, me and Sean were talking about that one day. I said, what brings this country together? And we both kind of ended up with the conclusion that if 9/11 happened today, it would not bring the country together. We would just all run to Twitter trying to find out who the pilots were, what their political affiliations were, if they ever pulled for Joe Biden or Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, and they were trying to just looking on which side can we blame it on.
And they was brought up in a fatherless home, so you can't blame them. They was just a victim of society.
Yeah. All right, Chris. Great call, brother. I appreciate you, man. Stay safe.
Be blessed, brother. Have a safe week.
Peace. All right, let's check here, see if we got any texts on the Guns and Gear text line. I see a couple notifications there. Let's see here. Unknown texter. Personally, I don't think the bumbling idiot should be there. He's a disgrace to this country and doesn't deserve the honor of attending the tribute. I look forward to seeing Trump there. Yeah, FJB. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I'm glad he's not there. I feel like when Joe Biden's going to that thing, it's been a disgrace seeing him there. But it's also a disgrace that the president's such a bumbling idiot that they don't want him there. I think that speaks volumes, doesn't it? All right, look, let's take a break. Come back, hit the reset button. Let's get into some local stuff. Facebook Marketplace counterfeit check writing ring has been busted up. Gonna tell you the story and give our kudos to the Hinds County Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Tyree Jones, doing some good work. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on 103.9 FM, WYAB. Hey, guys, you having car troubles out there? May I implore you to go by and see A1 Gear and Auto right there on 49 South in Florence. Whether it's a check engine light, your air ain't working, heat ain't working, got a noise it ain't supposed to be making, you name it, they can take care of it. What they specialize in is in your ring and pinion. And it doesn't have to be messed up to need to be upgraded either. I use the example all the time about people go and buy Jeeps and do trucks and all that, and they jack them up, put these big wheels and tires on them. I had a buddy of mine over at the house with me over the weekend, and he got him a Jeep. It's got some lift on it, got some wheels and tires, a stick shift, and I drove it to go run an errand. And the first thing out of his mouth, he's like, I know, I need to go see A1 Gear and Auto and get the gears upgraded. He's like, this thing can't get out of its own way. I was like, man, I'll call Justin for you if I need to. So keep them in mind. They are the industry leader in ring and pinion work. And, of course, all your other type mechanic needs as well. The only thing they don't do is work on diesel engine repair. That's A1 Gear and Auto, Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. If you're going south on 49, you pass Tom's Fried Pies and all that there in Richland. And it's going to be about a mile down the road or so, two miles, something like that. It's going to be on the right, big white building, big red sign. You want it done right the first time. You want to go to A1 Gear and Auto. All right, before I get into, let's just take a call from Derek real quick. Hey, Derek.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? Sad day today, remember 9/11, But one thing I can't be remiss to bring up, that was the day we were taught to question logic as well. Did you know that?
No.
Well, how can they report Building 7's coming down? BBC did, and the building's right there in the background as a reporter was saying it. That defied all logic, my friend. How did the buildings fall at a rate of gravity? Since when could jet fuel burn through steel? And also, the most damning one of all is to this day, even as advanced as cell phones have gotten, you cannot make a phone call from an airplane.
Yeah, and we're supposed to believe that people were making phone calls from airplanes.
Yeah. Yeah, trust me, I've tried it on my trip to Chicago. I've tried it when I was flying Cessna. It is not possible. So, again, I'm not unpatriotic or anything like that. There was a lot of logic-defying stuff going on during 9/11. But you know what, though? The wheels of the military-industrial complex really started spinning. Because do you remember, let's not forget about the forgotten soldiers, the people who joined Blackwater and police mission. They specifically targeted police because they knew that they had an axe to bury. You remember that?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, shortly after the war was declared in Afghanistan and Iraq, there was a lot of security that was the rise of the security contract companies.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Well, if you look at look at the people they targeted for recruitment, it was police officers. Right there in the name, police mission. I knew a lot of guys went over there as highway patrol and police and sheriffs, went over there, made that tax-free money, came back, paid off all their bills, and went back and served again. So, again, there was a lot of nuances in that whole thing, but not to take away from the main point, man. You know, it was a dark day, regardless of what happened. And then there was also the rise of people using the word conspiracy theory in mainstream. Well, how can you call somebody that questions logic a conspiracy theorist when in reality, your whole 9/11 report is a theory? You understand? You don't know exactly what happened. And then last and certainly not least, why in the HE double hockey sticks are we still allies in Saudi Arabia when just about all but one of the alleged hijackers was Saudi Arabia, was a Saudi? None of them were from Iraq and none of them were from Afghanistan, and nobody questions that. You have a great day.
Hey, you too, Derek. Thank you, brother.
Uh-huh.
Hey, and to his point there, let's close up this 9/11 stuff for now. To his point, people who he mentioned, not wanting to sound unpatriotic. I think it's very patriotic to question your government. I think that our government should absolutely be questioned. I think we should always hold them to account. Sean and I were talking the other day. Because I think they're going to try to kill Trump. I got Tucker seems to think the same thing. And they killed Kennedy. They just pulled all this COVID stuff on us. So if you never think your government won't kill its own people, you haven't been paying attention. So I don't put nothing past them. Frankly, I'm surprised more normies haven't stumbled across some of the 9/11 conspiracy stuff. They're like, can we make this make a little more sense, please? Can we make it make a little more sense, please? But yes, I don't put nothing past our government. I think 9/11, and I'm sorry, not 9/11. I think COVID put the exclamation point at the end of that sentence, that they will do anything to its citizens to appease whatever industrial complex they're trying to appease, whether it be medical or military. So, buckle up. And it's only going to get crazier between now and the next election. Also, I want to say one more thing about the 9/11 stuff. I was telling the story about having opened up the club, and I got a little sidetracked. We had opened up the club on August 10th, 2001. And we were chipping away at it, man. We were starting to do some good business and felt like we were going in the right direction. When 9/11 happened on Tuesday, because I remember being up watching the Monday Night Football the night before. One of the teams playing were the Giants, I believe. I actually Googled this the other day. I just can't remember. But I was like, well, that's it, man. The club ain't going to work. We're at war now. And would you know it, man, just talk about how resilient Americans are and teenagers and college kids and all that stuff. That Thursday night, 2 days after 9/11, didn't even know if we should be opening it or not. It just all of it felt weird. And I remember we had our biggest night to date at that point, that Thursday. And kids were no worse for the wear. I mean, everybody knew something had happened. But that's the resiliency of Americans. When we say don't let the terrorist win, I mean, that's what we're talking about. Never let them stop what we do, whether it's going out to a bar, going to church, or whatever it is, whatever your day-to-day life is. That's what they hate. They hate us because they ain't us. So that was one of those moments I got to see. I wasn't but 25. I had just turned 25 2 weeks earlier. So it was just cool to see Americans be able to get back at it, not let the terrorists win. I remember, let's see, this is back when WWE, it was still, I think it was SmackDown was on Friday nights then. So there's a good documentary about this, I think on YouTube. It's like WWE 9/11, something along those lines. So that was a Tuesday, and they had the first large public gathering event that Friday. It was in Houston, Texas, and Mattress Mac. Everybody knows who Mattress Mac is. He's always betting tens of millions of dollars on sporting events, and he's become pretty famous for that. But he's also a very famous furniture store owner in Texas, particularly in the Houston area. He ended up helping them get it all pulled off with security and just everything. It's really good, but it was cool to see America all come together and see what they did, and then all the tributes that came after the baseball games and this, that, and the other. And I don't like George Bush in hindsight. I'm not a W fan. Gosh, I was a huge W guy. But his speech, down there at the site of the towers, where he said, "I hear you, and the people who did this are going to hear all of us here soon." I still get chills when I listen to that. He's got that firefighter, that old man's firefighter up there with him, So I don't know. If I think a 9/11 at this point would just tear us apart more than help us. I mean, hell, when hurricanes hit, they blame it on Republicans and denying climate change. So who knows? All right, look, let's take a break. We're gonna come back, and I'm gonna get into this. Hinds County counterfeit check writing ring that's been busted up. Y'all heard me moan and complain about it forever on this show, about people that get got on Facebook Marketplace by these scammers with these bad checks. They just put a big, big dent in one of the rings. We'll be right back to discuss. This is the Clay Edwards Show. All right, welcome back in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. This segment going to be brought to you by Martin's Downtown. Man, Monday Night Football. It all kicks back off tonight. First Monday Night Football game of the regular season anyway. It'll be on down there at Martin's. You can go catch all the games, whether it be Monday, Saturday, Sunday. They're over till 2 a.m. nightly. Today's plate lunch special is going to be fried or grilled pork chops. Man, I've been screaming about wanting some fried pork chops since I started this show. I don't think I've had one. I always miss fried pork chop day wherever it's at. Man, I'm not going to be able to make it today, but next Monday we may have a Clay Edwards Show lunch gathering at Martin's and get some fried pork chops. But man, check them out online. They got that new patio out there with all the big screens on it, facing the Pearl Street Bridge there. Looks really nice. Covered, of course. The weather's starting to cool off. It was 64 degrees coming in this morning. Go enjoy a Carlson's or a Key City Brew beverage, or one of the other great beers they offer, or mixed drinks there at Martin's out there on the patio. Watch the game. And get some good sightseeing out on the patio in Jackson. Never know what you might see down there. Always entertaining. And don't forget, Martin's is in the Capital City Improvement District, so the Capitol Police are in charge over there. So you can feel safe at Martin's Downtown. So check them out online, martinsdowntownjxn.com. And don't forget, Friday night is ribeye steak night. They have live music every Friday and Saturday. Check out the schedule at martinsdowntownjxn.com. All right, let's jump into this, man. I've been excited about this. I was so excited about this the other day. I made a video, and I couldn't even keep from a couple cuss words. Unfortunately, I was pumped up. So I've been talking about this counterfeit check writing ring, and people getting their cars and side-by-sides and four-wheelers and all stolen from them because they got excited and took a counterfeit check from a thug piece of crap. Now, we're going to break this down. Jimmy Nichols, who I know Jimmy pretty well. I call Jimmy a buddy. Jimmy made this Facebook post the other day, and I can't believe none of the other local news channels have jumped on this, like the TV guys, because I think this is phenomenal. Y'all always say, Clay, why don't you ever do anything positive? Why you always talk about bad stuff? Well, I finally do it, and it falls on deaf ears, but here we go anyway. This is from Saturday morning, I believe. It says, all right, you hardly ever hear success stories, so here's one from my friends at the Hinds County Sheriff, Tyree Jones. A day or so ago, I got a call from a good friend who said he had some guys in Hinds County attempting to steal his side-by-side by passing a confirmed counterfeit check. I asked him if he would work with law enforcement to catch these criminals. He said yes. I then called Hinds County Sheriff Tyree Jones and asked him to call my friend. He did, and the plan was put into motion to lay a trap for the criminals. Here's a statement I received today from Sheriff Tyree Jones. God, I would love to go do some undercover work in Jackson and bust up some of these criminals. Let them think they're about to rob, save Jackson, and boom, joke's on you. Anyway. It says, on the 8th day of September 2023, Hinds County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division conducted an undercover operation in Hinds County at Battlefield Park. This operation was in regards to what we believe is part of a criminal organization passing fake bank checks, cashier's checks, etc., to individuals on social media selling ATVs, vehicles, and anything else of a monetary value. This operation involved 4 male suspects making a transaction to investigators for a 2015 Polaris Razor 900. The counterfeit cashier's check was in the amount of $8,500 U.S. currency. Once the investigators executed the arrest on one male suspect, a white Honda Accord fled the scene with the 3 other male suspects. Investigators quickly apprehended the others at the McDowell Road and I-55 intersection after a brief pursuit. No injuries occurred, and that's unfortunate, and one male is charged with uttering forgery, one male is charged with felony fleeing, and 3 of the males will be charged with accessory to uttering forgery. Great work. Absolute great work. They effed around. They found out. But, I talk about, and of course, there's a million more cockroaches like these out there. So don't assume that Facebook Marketplace is suddenly some great place that you're not going to get got on. I'm at war with Facebook Marketplace. But red flag number 1 for this particular story. If you go up to meet somebody to sell them your side-by-side and they're in a Honda Accord, that should be a red flag. Because they're about to rob you and just drive off and load it up on a truck or a trailer somewhere around the corner, I imagine. Red flag number 1. How are they buying a side-by-side in a Honda Accord? Red flag number 1A. Battlefield Park. You better be ready to go to battle if you go into Battlefield Park. Red flag 1B. Jackson. Do not meet people in Jackson off Facebook Marketplace unless it's at a police precinct. And then some of these folks still don't care. Frankly, I'd be weird about meeting people anywhere off Facebook Marketplace. Unless you're a business selling stuff and they got to come to that business. I'd be very careful about meeting people in random parking lots or any of that. I know some police stations and sheriff's offices have like marketplace meetup spots that are well lit and people can do that. I think that's a great idea. We've talked about that on the show before. I don't mean to rehash it too much, but All right, then there's like some real things to look out for. I mean, other than just be obvious. And look, I tell you all the time, sometimes you just got to profile. Sometimes you got to profile and be like, does this little thug look like he can afford an $8,500 side-by-side? And see, another thing, too, in thug culture, they don't write checks. Like, if they do have the cash, it's all cash. So bring you a fake money pin, too. Counterfeit bill checker. Just FYI. Got a lot of counterfeit bills over the years in the bars. So anyway, profile a little bit. If they're wearing a wife beater and their pants are down past their butt, man, they probably can't afford a side-by-side for real. I'm not saying some can't, but come on, use some common sense. Don't get so excited about being able to sell your thing that you lose your thing. And then the most important parts of this is the counterfeit checks. Guys, most of the ones I've seen are written on out-of-state banks. It's like Capital One, like national banks. We ain't got a Capital One bank here. So look out for that. 2, verify the funds. If you can't verify the funds, you don't need to be doing this. A lot of times they try to wait till after the banks are closed, on weekends, stuff like that, where you, in theory, can't verify funds. And this is all common sense stuff here. All common sense stuff. So, okay, great. Let's follow me to the bank, and we'll verify the funds there. I mean, you're gonna call the bluff pretty quick. But no, man. I didn't change my mind. I don't want it. Again, common sense stuff here. I had a friend of mine's son a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, got a vehicle stolen for doing this very thing. And I asked him, I said, did you not verify funds? Was the bank closed? Was it after hours or something? He said, man, I screwed up. He said, it was during the middle of the daytime. I should have verified the funds. I just got excited at selling. He's out an $8,500 car right now. Let's take a call real quick. Hey, you're on there.
Hey, what's going on, Clay? I was calling on that stolen car stuff.
Yeah.
So it's getting more difficult to verify the funds because what they're doing. There was a guy in Jackson. He was kind of the ringleader for this Facebook Marketplace scam, and what they were doing was depositing funds from a closed account into like a Wells Fargo account, and then they would, agree with somebody on Facebook to buy a car, and they can actually wire the money to like, GMAC or Credit Acceptance or whatever it is, and Credit Acceptance will say the funds are there, but then give a disclosure that, hey, this could be reversed in up to 4 weeks, depending on how long it takes to verify that. Depending on how long it takes the bank to realize that the funds are drawn on the closed account.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny. I'm going to say his name because I don't care. But the guy at the middle of it, one of the guys is a guy named Jarrett Floyd. He's in Jackson. What's funnier is he did that 150 times, is what Capitol Police told me. He did it 150 times while he was in the Hinds County Detention Center. He just got indicted federally, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. So he's now in Madison County at the detention center there, awaiting trial. But they only indicted him on 4 counts. But it's crazy. I've had probably 4 claims in the last 3 months where people had bought stolen cars on Facebook Marketplace and they got seized by the government. So I just tell you, be careful buying on Facebook Marketplace. It's very hard to do that and to do it legitimately right now.
Yeah, and also I guess I never thought about this, but I'd asked the story I was just telling right before I got on the phone there, happened to a friend of mine's son. Insurance doesn't cover it. It's not like a typical stolen vehicle deal. So
no, it's a government seizure exclusion that's in the policy, and it's pretty widespread. I've had to do a bunch of coverage opinions on that recently. So it's I just tell you, I wouldn't buy a car off of Facebook Marketplace.
No, like I said, I mean, when I was at the dealership, it was one of the reasons I'm no longer at the dealership is I refused to put any more cars on Facebook Marketplace because I got tired of the nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, if people are wanting to know what to look for, if you got a car on Facebook Marketplace, you put it out there and you say, I'm going to offer this truck for $60,000. You get somebody coming up to you and said, hey, I'll take it. No negotiation.
Man, that's exactly what I said in my video. If they're not negotiating, that red flag, that's red flag number one. I'm glad you brought that up.
And then the second thing is they want it in a day. I've had probably 12 cars that we've looked at coming out of Alabama, and it was that same group out of Jackson. If you see a profile that says Brandon Jones, it's got a Dodge pickup on the front with a guy that looks like a skinny kid in the profile picture.
Yeah,
that's the profile that was being used I've worked on 2 separate stolen cars with that profile, so it's wild out there.
Brandon Jones. Was that the name, Brandon Jones? I'm writing this down.
Yeah.
Hey.
I can send it to you if you want to. I can post it to the Facebook page.
Yeah. Post it to the Clay Edwards Show group.
Yeah, I do that. All right, man. Y'all take care.
Hey, appreciate it, brother. Great call.
Yeah, man. See you.
Let's take another call here real quick. Hey, you're on there. Hello. All right, we lost them. All right, let's take a break real quick. We'll come right back. We'll have a few extra minutes to land the plane for the first hour. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I want to hear your marketplace nightmares, man. I want to hear your marketplace nightmares. Have you been scammed? You know somebody that got scammed? Let's hear about it. 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back in here to the Clay Edwards Show. We're live on 103.9 FM, WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com. This segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over at Gracie South Jiu-Jitsu and Kickboxing. Man, get out there this week. Gracie South in Pearl, in Fairmont Plaza, or in Madison right there on Ridgecrest Drive. They got everything from adult jiu-jitsu, taught by Hoist Gracie black belt, Mr. Chance Shepard. They got women's only self-defense classes taught by a female instructor with a no male intimidation atmosphere. They also have fitness kickboxing, a great non-monotonous workout. Kind of learn to fight a little bit, and you're getting your kickboxing in. That type of training is becoming very, very popular around here. So get in at it at Gracie South. They also have children's jiu-jitsu classes. Great way to teach your child discipline and a little bully prevention too. Like I always tell the stories of knowing the kids growing up that were really good at karate and jiu-jitsu and black belts and this and that and the other. Everybody wanted to be their friend. They was the most popular kids in school. Make your kid the most popular kid in school. Get them into jiu-jitsu classes now. Check them out, man. First week is going to be free. And then if you mention you heard it here on the Clay Edwards Show moving forward, 20% off. So check them out. First week free. You can't beat that. GracieSouth.com. All right. This Facebook Marketplace stuff is interesting, man. Let's see. We got some text here on the Guns and Gear text line. Richard says, I found some patio furniture on Marketplace for $200. I made contact and was told it was in Pearl. They said Venmo me the money and they would deliver. The Venmo was a different name. I asked and they were, I'm selling for a friend. I said, okay, I'm not sending money, but have cash if you're delivering it anyway. They declined, but blew my messenger up getting nasty towards me. Yeah, man, there's a lot of scams going on. A friend of mine's mom sent her a post on Facebook, where they're commandeering people's Facebook pages and they're putting a bunch of like stuff for sale, like we're moving. It ain't just Marketplace, it's regular Facebook too. And they'll post all these great things like good looking furniture, side by sides, and it won't be priced dirt cheap, but it's priced well into the margin of that it shouldn't set off any red flags. Like, man, if you look at it, you're like, man, that's cheap. That's a lick. $300 for that TV, $5,000 for that $20,000 side by side. Somebody that don't know, they don't know. They're like, oh man, that seems like a good deal. And they do this Venmo scam or this Cash App scam where you give them a deposit and then you just got. I'm telling you. I mean, and they're doing it. They're getting your friends' profiles now. So when somebody says their profile got hacked or something, that's what they're doing with it. I saw it happen to a girl I know the other day. Her profile had been dead for a month, then boom, she's selling stuff on it. And I think they even did like a deep fake AI video to go with it. It's crazy what they're doing out there. All right, we'll be right back after this break on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment here on 103.9 FM is going to be brought to you by our friends over at, how about my friends right down south here in Crystal Springs, Mississippi, at Mercy House Teen Challenge Auto Center, or better known as Mercy House Auto Center. If you're looking for a vehicle in that $10,000 to $15,000, $20,000 range that you can get financed, you need to get in there and see these guys. They have financing options for every level of credit. They can get you rolling. And here's what's great is the money, the profits made from this thing after they, pay their staff and all that good stuff. It goes to funding Mercy House Teen Challenge. And that's helping beat addiction, helping put fathers back in homes. When the father's in the home, things just work out a little bit better. When both parents are in that house, in that home. And the Mercy House is doing their part to do that, and they're helping you get a good vehicle in the process. But here's something else that they do. And I tell y'all, after 12, 13 years in the car business, I'm telling you, this is a big deal. You can donate your vehicle to them and get that tax write-off, whether it's running or not. And you can get the write-off for the amount they sell it for. That's a big deal. Save some money at the end of the year. Business owners, you got a fleet of vehicles, they're kind of at their end. Donate them. Get that tax write-off. You don't want to go through the headache of sending them things to the auction or, God forbid, trying to sell them on Facebook Marketplace or anything like that. Let the pros do it for you. That's mercyhouseautocenter.com, located right there in Crystal Springs, Mississippi. All right. Let's check out some text here. I just got a great text from one of our folks, Chris Hinkle. He's a former FBI agent, in a group text with him here, talking about what he was doing on 9/11 and stuff. I'll see if I can read that to y'all. But in the meantime, let's get back to some Facebook Marketplace stuff. Somebody said, I had someone on Marketplace trying to sell someone else's stuff on Marketplace using their pictures of the item. Yeah, so that's a great reminder there. That there is a lot of that stuff going on. They're especially doing it with rental houses. They're picking random houses that I guess are on Zillow and places like that, or on Marketplace for that matter. They're still in the pictures and offering them for like a ridiculous price, deposit required to even get the conversation started, that kind of thing. So be very careful. And they post them, it's like weird. You'll see a house and be like, this is in Madison. I'm like, that house ain't in Madison. Like, I know the area enough to know that don't look nothing like anything in Madison. Anyway, so I'm telling you, man, if you guys are ever looking for a house to rent, holler at me. I know a bunch of people that have rental houses too. I would gladly get you in contact with some good folks that do this kind of stuff. And it was the same thing, the Three Doors Down concert the other night. I saw a lot of in those Facebook groups, there's a lot of people selling fake tickets. Oh, suddenly can't go, got 2 tickets, DM me, I'm like, all that's fake. All that's fake. Only buy concert tickets from somebody you know and have a conversation with them about it. Either that or, as much as I hate Ticketmaster, through Ticketmaster certified reseller tickets. I was able to link some people up that had tickets for sale and needed tickets. So I don't like seeing people get scammed. I can't stand that. By the way, shout out to Michael Wimberly over at the Insight Group. He hooked your boy up with his Skybox, so we had a really good time there at the concert the other night. Much appreciation for that. Always good to stay in good graces with folks, and we had a blast. If you weren't at the Three Doors Down concert and you like that kind of music, you really missed a good one. The weather was perfect. I mean, you could not have asked for a better night of live music in Mississippi. It's been a hot summer, starting to cool down a little bit. I know we had an absolute blast. Three Doors Down, Candlebox, Just great. Both bands, very, very patriotic. I'll be honest, I didn't know what Candlebox's politics were. Still don't necessarily know what the politics are, but very, very pro-military. You know, and you don't see that a lot, you know, from like hardcore liberals nowadays. I mean, unless, of course, they're going to fight for Ukraine, then they get very patriotic. But Candlebox was great. It's their last national tour. They're going to kind of retire. I think just, you know, they'll do some select stuff here and there. But either way, couldn't have had a better time. It was a rough week last week, you know. I don't want to say a rough week, just a stressful week. You know, so it's great to have friends and family that love you as much as you love them. And to be able to get out there and go do fun stuff and enjoy yourself. And couldn't have had a better time. Couldn't have had it with better people. Just between Saturday night, Thursday night, went and saw the Train concert. So it's a good week, man. I'm telling y'all, my buddy Corey went with me to the Three Doors Down thing. It was his first time to the amphitheater. And I think he sees what the fuss is about. It is really, really nice out there, especially getting to this time of year where it ain't quite as hot. It was a very pleasurable experience. They've done very well with that thing. I'm a big fan. Big fan. All right. Let's see here. Guys, please remember, I'm doing the Real Men Wear Pink fundraiser campaign this year. If you got it in your hearts to donate a little bit to it, please let me know. I'll shoot you the link where you can donate directly to the American Cancer Society under my profile there. Would love to get a couple bucks and help raise my $5,000 for this thing. All right, so just wanted to mention that. So something else interesting over the weekend. Let's get into some culture war stuff here. I feel like I've been tiptoeing around some culture war stuff lately and haven't gone knee deep into it like I normally do. You know, I found that I made a Facebook post about this Friday night. I find an interesting parallel between being a conservative talk show host, podcaster, internet person, all that, content creator, and gangster rap. Because we're both, the same audience is trying to cancel both of us, one intentionally, one unintentionally. Up in Memphis Thursday night, there was a very famous rapper by the name of Lil Baby. All these guys that put Lil in their names. Anyway, Lil Baby was performing at the FedEx Forum. And it was big. I don't know if it was sold out, but it was packed. I mean, you've been there. It's where the Grizzlies play ball. I mean, it's one of the nicest arenas in the South. Gorgeous facility. And, of course, somebody got a gun in there and shot somebody. Premeditated, of course. Comes to find out the guy that got shot was affiliated with another rapper from Memphis, Young Dolph, who got killed in Memphis here recently. Anyway, the show had to be canceled. He was only a song or two in. Show had to be canceled. He's saying they're going to give everybody a refund. Then his concert the following night in Louisville got canceled. And so what it dawned on me in a moment of clarity, my alpha brain must have been working, that the black hip-hop fans, the black Democrats, the very ones that sit there and screech and scream and cry about everybody being racist and trying to cancel everybody, are the very ones that are, in fact, canceling their own people or canceling their ability to make an income doing concerts. I got the video queuing up here. Be patient with me just a second while it runs through the ad. But these concerts, these big arena shows, man, A, they cost a ton of money to put on. But B, they make a ton of money. I mean, these guys making six-figure incomes a night. I mean, I bet you Lil Baby was making $150,000, $200,000 for that performance. And now he's out that. He's out the one the night before. So, I mean, you figure that and merch and yada, yada, yada. He probably lost $500,000 this week in those canceled shows because somebody somehow got a gun past security and shot a guy Here's a story. This is from WREG, I believe, up in Memphis.
Lil Baby. I know he never gonna. Yeah, that's my favorite. I know he never gonna come back to Memphis.
Concert goers like Madison Young are disappointed after having to evacuate the Lil Baby concert at FedEx Forum Thursday night. Young says the Atlanta rapper only performed 2 songs before being rushed off the stage due to a shooting.
As soon as he got off the stage, we had to get down, we had to leave. I told all my crew to get down. So we evacuated. Once we evacuated, did a head count. I'm still not sure what happened.
Videos on social media show chaos as shots were fired inside the Forum during the rapper's performance. Memphis police say around 10:23, a man was hit and taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police say the victim was targeted.
Yeah, right in front of the stage on the left. Everybody started running this way. Everybody at the top got down, and then they made us evacuate from the top.
This man says his family was at the concert when the shooting happened.
To look up to get a call, they running out of the FedEx Forum screaming somebody done got shot. We wondering how in the world did somebody get a gun inside the FedEx Forum?
If you've ever been to the FedEx Forum and you've gone through these front doors, then you've probably encountered security before. You've probably gone through a metal detector. You've probably had your items searched, and you may have been patted down. So the big question, how did a weapon still manage to make its way inside?
I don't know. Hopefully they could refund us because I spent a lot of money.
MPD says they do not know how the suspect was able to get around the security screening process. In a statement, a spokeswoman for FedEx Forum says
it's irrelevant. I can tell you how. Just like they get contraband into jails. You know, you got low-wage individuals working these security jobs. Somebody throws them, hey, man, I'm gonna need to get this in, dog. Here's $1,000, $500, pick a number. You know, and they let them. They figure out what door he's working at, where at. They get him in there, or maybe, and this makes as much sense. Let's say one of these same low-wage security staff, or maybe it's somebody on the catering team. You know, that had access, that didn't have to go through a metal detector at some point. They got the gun inside and they planted it and told the guy where it was. Hey, it's in bathroom A under stall Z, wrapped up behind the toilet, and pick up the toilet, whatever. It ain't that hard, trust me. It ain't that difficult to do it. Look at your low-wage employees, look at their connections, and of course, there's going to be a lot of video on this thing. These facilities got a lot of video, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. I find it comical that they still talk about all the things that are the great threats to the black community when clearly it's got its own issues from within. And this is a great example of that. Now they're canceling their own hip-hop stars. They kill them left and right. Young Dolph was apparently very famous. I couldn't tell you a Young Dolph song. Again, I haven't listened to new hip-hop in a long time, but I know he was obviously popular. They killed him. They're in Memphis. He's from Memphis. You know, can't stand to see another person have nothing. I've never seen it. Another community that likes to kill its own as they're starting to come up out of it. What do they call it? Crabs in a bucket? That is a great example of these urban Democrat areas. It is crabs in a bucket. The second somebody starts doing good for themselves, they just pull them back down. All right, let's take a break real quick. But this is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Live here on 103.9 FM, WYAB. This segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over at, how about my friends right there at Lakeland Glass and Tint. That's right, man. Check them out today for all your window tinting needs, home, car, or business, all your vehicle wrapping needs, turn it into a rolling billboard, or just change the color of it without having to go to an expensive body shop and do it that way. Also, they handle all your automotive glass replacement needs, windshields, they got them, side windows, glass, they can do it all. They're at Lakeland Glass and Tint. And look, something they're about to be pushing here real big is their ceramic coating and paint correction department. You know, guys, I did that for a while, and Lakeland Glass and Tint is getting into it now. They're using Expel ceramic. Expel is top of the line. And they're also the Expelled Dealer of the Year, Installer of the Year. So Lakeland Glass and Tint is the best of the best, and they only use the best of the best. So I'm telling you, if you got you a new vehicle, you want the perfect paint protection, ceramic coating is the route to go. Check them out. Let Jason get you an estimate on all of it. Let you know their different packages and whatnot that they have available. They have something for just about every price point. Something to satisfy everybody. But I'm just going to tell you, ceramic ain't cheap, but good protection ain't cheap. So it's worth doing. Don't go spend $40, $50, $60, $80, $100,000 on a new vehicle and not have all the protection out there available to you. You buy extended warranties for your mechanic stuff or extended service contracts. Getting a ceramic coating is like putting an extended warranty on your clear coat and your paint. It's that good. I'm telling you, I stand by it. I'm a big fan of it. So check them out, LakelandGlassandTint.com, or give them a call today where quality matters at 601-946-1000. That's Lakeland Glass and Tint. All right, so another story, it's funny, this stuff kind of drops on the weekends sometimes, or it falls on Friday where they want news stories to go away. But looks like the governor of New Mexico went full Chokwe. She went full Chokwe. That's the way I was just like saying full retard. Never go full retard. She went full Chokwe Antor Lumumba. And the governor of New Mexico has suspended, let's see here, New Mexico governor orders suspension of open and concealed carry of gun in Albuquerque. She said, and she's doing it as a health emergency after a string of deadly shootings and drug overdoses, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. Of course, it didn't go back to where I wanted it to. Sorry. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. I got a little video of her here. This is about 48 seconds long. Listen to this nut job. Queuing it up. I apologize. There we go.
The value of the order is that it gives me three things. One, it says it's a statewide issue and it's a message to everyone to start leveraging the resources and arresting people. I can't arrest everyone. There are literally too many people to arrest.
Someone got a concealed carry permit in Albuquerque walking down a public street, they're not going to get arrested.
Maybe they should be. If there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute.
She's wrong about that.
Yep.
Do you really think that criminals are going to hear this message and not carry a gun in Albuquerque on the streets for 30 days?
No.
Didn't Chokwe tried this in Jackson a couple years ago? 2 years ago, I think. And he got reprimanded so hard that if my memory serves me correct without having to dive into old stories, that if he ever tries it again, he can be sued personally, if my memory serves me correct. And apparently Democrats are starting to back away from this. They're like, man, they did not need this right now. They don't need any of their nut jobs doing any of their nut job stuff. The Albuquerque DA says he will not enforce it. So, look, I'm gonna tell you. You want to know when you're on the wrong side of an argument on gun control? When David Hogg says you're wrong. Y'all remember David Hogg? He's a little nut job from down there. I think it was Parkland School down there in Miami or whatever in Florida. And he runs around here acting like a Nazi. Like a liberal Nazi, anti-gun Nazi. He says, I support gun safety, but there is no such thing as a state public health emergency exception to the U.S. Constitution. There's not. I'm telling you, they learned that they had powers that they don't deserve and nobody should have during COVID. Or they think they do, should I say. All us conspiracy theorists told you COVID was a dry run for other stuff to see how far they could push Americans. And look, I don't think she's going to be successful. I think she's going to be sued. This is going to go away pretty quickly. But don't think these nut jobs ain't going to try it. and then it goes in front of just the right judge, and it ends up happening. You know, you can tie it up in legal stuff for long enough that, I don't know. What do y'all think, man? Are guns a health emergency? Or are Democrats with guns a health emergency? 601-879-0002. Speaking of guns, the Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. And what blows my mind is we still act like, when we have these conversations, you know, it's like conversations about the elections. We act like they're all going to be fair and there's not a lot of cheating going on. We know dang well that all these conversations are a moot point when the party that's doing the cheating is the party that's in control. I mean, for Trump to win, he's going to have to win so big that they couldn't cheat enough to win. Just like these gun control. We act like criminals aren't still going to get guns. Now, if you've made your mind up to kill somebody, catching a gun charge is the least of your concerns. Let's take a call from Josh. Hey, you're on there, brother.
Hey, I was just going to say, if you don't have guns, that might be a health emergency in a lot of cases.
Oh, it is in places like Jackson. There's no way. I check every morning. I put my gun, my car keys, and my wallet in the same spot because I ain't leaving home without a single one of them because I had to drive through Jackson. And that's anywhere else for that matter, but especially coming out to this radio station and going back home through Jackson. Ain't happening.
Right. I would just say, too, that people aren't the only ones. Sometimes there's a lot of dogs in places or other animals that may want to interfere with your health. So they use for them as well.
Well, yeah, I just saw a story yesterday. One of the cooks out there at Berry Seafood was walking home and got attacked by 9 pit bulls.
Yep, just like insurance. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Hey, man, how you been, brother?
I've been doing well, just working. You know, now I drive and I transport, like, organs and plane parts different places, so it's been interesting. I go to Birmingham, New Orleans, Memphis, Ocean Springs, anywhere within about 3 or 4 hours. I had one run out to Charleston, South Carolina for a kidney one day.
Man, that's cool. I'd sit down and talk about it sometimes. Josh, good hearing from you, brother. Stay safe.
Good talking to you. Have a go.
Bye. Josh, good folks there, man. He's been on my show before. Well, I don't know if he's actually been on the show, but he's called in a bunch. He's been on Jameson's show. Good people out there like Josh and his wife. Great folks. All right, let's take a break real quick. Come back. We can carry on this gun conversation. We can hit some other stuff. I got some video of Tucker Carlson saying he thinks they're going to kill Trump. I know it's from a week or so ago. It's a little behind, but sometimes things even slip through my fingers and I miss it. But we'll hit that and more when we come back. We also got some video of a liberal nut job saying she doesn't feel safe when she sees the American flag. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on 103.9 FM, WYAB. Man, I'm saving something here real quick. I want to go back and read this to y'all here shortly. All right, I need to get back to where I was. This segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over at Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. Get out there this week. Open daily, 4 p.m. to midnight at Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. Try one of their amazing 12 specialty pizzas. My multitasking skills are not at 100% right now. Normally I can do all this and multitask. Check out one of their 12 specialty pizzas, including the pig. Try the dynamite balls, man. The appetizers there are fabulous too. And I never used the word fabulous, so I just did. I try to sneak a big word in every now and then. It's a fresh smoked pulled pork wrapped around some cream cheese, deep fried, drizzled with some barbecue sauce. Oh my gosh. I want some now. Get out there, check them out. They also, did you know you can get daiquiris to go? Fresh, frozen made daiquiris to go at Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. They got just the right recipe where they're allowed to do it. So check them out. 9 different flavors on tap there. If you like the tutti frutti type stuff, they got it. Also, they're available on all major food delivery apps. including take-a-break deliveries. That's Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. All right, something here I wanted to play you guys. All right, this is Tucker Carlson on Adam Carolla's podcast talking about he thinks they're going to try to assassinate Trump. Man, Tucker has just come out swinging, son. Got Larry Sinclair and Obama, all that good stuff. Now he's getting, like the mainstream media has avoided this stuff, for years. But again, us conspiracy theorists who are always right have been talking about this forever. I tell you, if there was ever anything I hope to be wrong about, it's this. This is Tucker on Adam Carolla.
Are they going to let Trump be president?
No, of course. I mean, look, they protested him. They called him names. He won anyway. They impeached him twice on ridiculous pretenses. They fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back. Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times, and every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to protest, then you go to impeachment, now you go to indictment, and none of them work, what's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that, but I don't know how you can reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them they just can't have it. I mean, they're putting him on trial in March of next year in the J6 case, which basically consists of trying to send him to prison for the rest of his life for complaining about the last election. That's literally what it is. If this were happening in Moldova, the State Department would issue an all-hands-on-deck order to let the world know this is not a legitimate government. And yet, our government is doing it. It's like, it's hard to overstate how bad this is, and I've never been this worried about anything.
Touche, my friend. Touche. I want y'all's opinion on it. Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Or you can call in if you want, 601-879-0002. How does all this end? What do you think? I mean, nothing's off the table. I want all your opinions on this. I mean, do you think they killed Trump? Do you think it ends up blood in the streets, all out urban warfare? Do you think they call the Insurrection Act? I think that's what it's called, where the military can go into the cities and patrol itself. Anyway, we asked for Trump to do that during Black Lives Matter, and he didn't do it because he thought it would be a bad look. And you have to throw all the norms out the window nowadays. When they decided to start indicting Trump and all this stuff, you have to throw it all out the window, man. It is, I think Jameson calls it fifth dimensional warfare or something like that. We're there. This is fifth dimensional warfare. It ain't two sides in a field storming towards one another with their bayonets anymore. Now, ironically, it may end up back to that when they hit us with an EMP. But right now, it's not. I mean, we're at war. We got to get some victories on our side. And I think that path is just looking at the pieces on the chessboard right now. That path is somehow or another making sure Trump wins, arresting some folks, and trying to hit the reset button. But who knows, man? Maybe there's a hero out there somewhere that we don't know about yet. Somebody that comes from nowhere and fixes all this stuff. Somebody that maybe is a sleeping giant in politics now. Who knows? We'll see. Let's take a call. Hey, you're on there.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. What I wanted to say is, you asked the question, do I believe it's possible? Yes, I do. There's nothing that goes on, I think, in this United States, and I love this country, that would surprise me. I think back to in 2016 when he won the presidency, how everybody, not everybody, but a number of the people were coming out, making his presidency just trying to make it illegit.
Yeah, try to delegitimize it. Yeah,
right. And they lied and they lied but you know one thing, I truly believe that the good Lord above is protecting them, because we found out that all of those things were lies. But what's surprising is that nothing took place. Nobody went to jail. Nobody was even charged with creating lies or lying to the FBI or lying to the court system. None of this was ever even discussed. And I blame the Republican Party for not even trying to enforce it. And it makes me think sometimes, are they in step with the Democratic Party where this is allowed? I mean, I could imagine if Mr. Obama, where people would have come out against him that way and told lies on him that way, what would the Democrat would be up in arms about that, and rightfully so.
Sure.
Because lies shouldn't be told, and I believe in my heart that the good Lord is going to make it possible with this J6 thing and with this thing that's happening in Georgia. Well, we're going to find out details where something was underhanded, okay? Not by Trump, but by the people who's trying to prosecute him, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if that comes out to be true. I wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying it will be, but I truly believe in my heart that it's something going to come of this, okay? But the only problem is, what is the Republicans going to do then? Or what is not just Republicans, what are the American people, what are the American people going to do? Are we going to just sit back and let things like this go on in our country? I mean, that's all I have to say, okay?
Hey, great call, brother. Thank you, man.
All right, brother.
Look, it makes a great point. It's a uniparty. You know, if this had happened to Democrats, what's happened to Trump, there would be congressional hearings. The FBI would be kicking in people's doors. People would be arrested. It would be the biggest story of all time. It's still going to end up being the biggest story of all time. It's a setback. It's just a setup for a comeback. But if they had done this to Hillary, or God forbid, the golden child Obama, man, they would eliminate, the Republican Party would be disbanded, like Ukraine did the other political factions, the other political parties at the start of this air quotes war. They would have disbanded the Republican Party if the roles were reversed on this deal. And I ain't so convinced they still shouldn't. But just, disband the Democrats too. Get away from all this nonsense. Two parties shouldn't be running America. But this is what we're stuck with, so this is what we're going to have to fight about, because, I don't think we're going to move the needle quite that much. Let's take a couple texts here. Oh, yeah, going back to the New Mexico thing, the Albuquerque DA did say that he would not enforce the governor's emergency order. And also said, unknown texter says, when money is created out of thin air, how many politicians can you buy? I guess all of them. I guess the answer is all of them. Wild Bill. This coming from a person who will not vote Trump or Biden. I put nothing past our government. Yes, I would not be surprised if they tried to assassinate him. I believe the government was behind Kennedy, King, and Malcolm X assassinations. DeSantis 2024, Make America Florida. Man, DeSantis caught hell at that Iowa State game the other day. People sitting right behind him, flipping him off. Let's see here. Tony says, if I was Trump, I'm taking my billions, moving to an island and telling America to F off. We need Trump politics brought to us by someone else besides Trump. America will implode if Trump gets elected again. I 100% agree with Tony. But if we ain't got a Trump B, we need Trump A. Because I just think he's the only person right now suited. Maybe America needs to implode on itself. Maybe that's what we need. It'd be terrible, but big picture, maybe that's what America needs. Let's see here. Unknown texter. Oh, it says, "Hey, Clay, this is Chop Chop Scott here. I sure hope Tucker has great security for him and his family because he is hitting the right nerves." I was thinking about that the other day too, my friend. He said, "I believe Trump is ahead of them on his personal security, so I think they will have to do something conventional that takes out an area that Trump is at and could take the lives of thousands of Americans as collateral damage. Don't put it past them. Look at J6 and Hawaii. Nothing is off their list at this point." Man, that is a great point. You use one of those weather-changing space lasers and stuff. You create a national, an event, a dirty bomb type situation. Takes out a whole area Trump's at. Maybe one of these big outdoor rallies Trump's doing. You nuke it. Not like a nuke, but something that could kill 10, 20, 30,000 people in a tight area like that. Be devastating. I don't even want to think about it. But nothing puts me past these people. Then they could just blame it on some lone wolf bomber, some patsy, some Lee Harvey Oswald type. Unknown texter. Never allow yourself to be surprised by what the people with no moral identity are capable of. I don't. However, I agree that God is protecting us or America for that matter. I don't believe, however, that. Hold on, let me start over on this. However, agree that God is protecting us or America for that matter any longer. Now is the time to sleep in the bed which was made by the silence of good people. Yes. I don't want to agree that God isn't protecting us anymore because I think it would be way worse off if he wasn't. But man, God, if you're listening, we need you now, brother. We need you now. Let's take a break, come back, land the plane for the day. This is the Clay Edwards Show. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Let's go straight to the phones as we end the program for the day. Hey, caller, you got about a minute.
Yeah, Clay, I know you're at the end of the show, but I was just listening to y'all talking about the Trump thing. But
yeah,
no, there was a show on Netflix called The Night Agent, and that's basically what happened on the show. Like they tried to blow up a subway train to kill a foreign dignitary on American soil. So,
well,
you know how.
Like, is it Lone Survivor or whatever that Kevin Bacon's in, where every time they do the State of the Union, they put a designated survivor. That's it.
That's Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland, yeah.
But also
anything's possible.
The movie Shooter. I mean, hey,
that's right.
They tell you they give you their game plan and they disguise it as fiction, man. So, hey.
Great call, brother.
Yeah, good show, man.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, look, man, Hollywood's been telling us for years what they're going to do, and then when they do it, he just hit the nail on the head. They disguise it as fiction. I'm just sitting here as we close out today on this 9/11. Libs of TikTok posted something on X, and it's pictures. It's two photos here. To the left, it's the Twin Towers under attack, and on the right, it's got the guy holding Nancy Pelosi's stand, that she says that and hits the gavel. I'm drawing a blank on what the hell it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. Very famous photo. I just retweeted it. And it says, and remember when the media tried to tell us that these are the exact same thing, 9/11 and January 6th. January 6th is a bunch of broken windows. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Allison Noe's up next. Peace.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.